Okay, it builds your fatigue bar. All right.
Yeah, I don't know. We could find. I guess there isn't. There isn't like a spell book, but we could just find a weak enemy and test it.
Yeah, it's kind of a good thought. Like, I wonder if I guess they would have a lust threshold too, and eventually, if they hit it, they're kind of fucked, just like I am.
Yeah.
Okay, let's try exploring the desert,
Okay.
maybe.
A strange woman appears from the dunes. She identifies. Excuse me. Identifies herself as a sandwich. She asks if she can cast a
Delicious.
spell on you.
Fuck no.
Okay.
How dare you? Come on.
And she attacks.
Of course.
She's level 3. So
Okay, we'll see what happens. Yeah, let's go ahead and hit her with a spell and see what it looks like.
Oh, you can't use black magic. Let's see if what? Why?
M's, you try. Is that physical
M's
specials?
special.
Magic specials?
I guess you have to have a certain amount of your own lust before you can use it.
Okay. Interesting. Really interesting.
So we have
okay.
we have two things we could do. We could use conventional attacker tease to fight and let her attacks build your lust up, or you can fantasize, which is risky, but it would speed up the process.
Well, she might have lust attacks of her own, so let's try a regular attack first.
Okay. And she physically attacks and doesn't do anything. She's down at 91.
See what teasing her does, just for the hell of it.
She seems unimpressed.
Oh, of course. I'm not like freakishly bizarre yet. Not quite doing it for her. Okay, attack her again.
Okay, so she uses a sand ball. It's like a magical sand vibrator. So now you're gonna. That's like a lust over time attack.
Okay.
Let's see if nope, not enough.
Interesting. All right. All right, we'll try to attack her again. And since we're trying to build lust, I mean, that's not really. Damn, I hit her pretty fucking hard there. Okay.
Yeah.
And she did nothing. I mean, that's good. It's good that I'm kicking her ass, but it's also not imperative that I cast in this fight. Eventually,
Yeah.
if I. Okay. Although it could be risky later if I've got like 50 lust and I.
Okay, so you're up to 15. 15 and still can't cast.
All right. I don't have any specials at this point, I would imagine.
No specials. So
since I'm blocking her a lot, and she's not doing any damage. Try to fantasize, see what that'll do.
All right. Oh, so that was. You got plus 15. That must have been a combination of the orb and your own. So maybe, I don't know, 5 to 10 to the orb, 5 to 10 to the fantasize.
Cool.
Now you're up to. Oh wait, now you're up to 35. Okay, now it did. You just added another 5. Now let's see. Oh. Still not enough.
All right. Interesting.
Did it not register? I wonder, does you have to study it several times before it works?
Yeah, that's a good thought. Like, is there any place to view your available spells? Let's finish this fight. And there's not?
Not that I'm aware of. I checked the menus at the top, and okay, so that was no damage either way.
Interesting. Okay.
Okay, another good hit. Oh, okay. So you have to be at 50 or somewhere in the... Man, that's a lot.
Okay.
Okay, so now you have the Arouse spell. It costs 15 fatigue. And then, of course, fatigue builds up, not falling down like mana. So, want to try it?
Yeah, give it a whirl. I want to see.
Okay. Boom. You make a series of arcane gestures, drawing on your own lust to inflict upon your foe. The sandwich staggers, suddenly weak and having trouble focus on staying upright. Sandwich points at you. Okay, so she used her own magic. Now it usually... Okay, so here underneath the HP, it shows a little message giving you an indication of how much arousal damage you've done. So it's flushed with the beginnings.
Okay. So basically, I'm gonna wind up killing her before that'll. Really.
Yeah. Well, it depends. I mean, you could cast again, or you could. I mean, it's okay. Now, monsters, of course, they divide up their attacks between physical and lust, which is the key to their ineffectiveness compared to a hero that just focuses on one.
Right.
But since you're at less 62 and you have that, apparently that ball ran out of steam, but she could cast it again. The point is, like, you should probably pick one or the other.
Right, pretty much. All right, let's. Fuck it. Try casting again. We'll
Okay.
see. Let's see how it turns out.
Okay.
Cubes up.
Okay. So now she's moderately aroused. You're gonna have to double. I mean, it looks like you're gonna have to stick to a caster strategy, or I mean, what do you want to do?
Shit. I don't know. I mean, I could probably kill her off pretty quick. Yeah. Fuck it. Cast one more time.
All right.
Fuck it. See what happens.
All right.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Practically soaked. So now it looks like there's 3 basic phases, which means the next one I'm guessing is gonna be her defeat. I don't know.
It looks pretty dire for her. So yeah, cast again. Hell with it.
Okay, yeah, she lost because there's no retaliation message.
De-rape her. Of course, just taunting, teasing. Yeah, leave.
So that was 4 casts it took. Oh, and she dropped a spell.
Oh, you bitch. Good shit.
Want to read it right away?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so we're gonna do it. And new spell, heal.
Heal. Okay.
Nice. There you go.
Very good shit.
All right.
What's that do?
Oh, dude. I hate to get into another rant so early when we're just doing some gameplay, but man, just so people who know, whenever we do Corruption of Champions or other hentai games, I'm probably going to just unashamedly plug the game that I'm working on, which is also a hentai game. I've been putting tags in it. They got rid of annotations. Now you have tags that let you click on it, and it'll take you to a video talking briefly about the project. But basically, I made a game that's like this, but it's in 3D, right? Everything's graphically represented, right? Now, the good news is, everything's graphically represented. The sex scenes are in full 3D in real time. The fighting is, it's like an old school active time battle, turn-based, but it's in real time. The bad news is because everything takes longer in 3D, don't expect it to have like a large, it's kind of like the hentai version of No Man's Sky, except that I'm not going to lie to people and say it has shit that it doesn't have in it. I'm not going to show you like a video of a giant sandworm and then they're like, hey, where's the sandworm? But I mean, so basically it's like that. You can travel, you can fight, you can have sex. There's breast physics and moaning and slapping sounds. Okay, but I'm working overtime to get scenario content into it, right? And like I said before, I had a previous computer break. There's a Patreon for it and a storefront page. If anyone is willing to support it at this early stage, I really appreciate it. I'd really appreciate it. And you can go to the forums and you can leave any bug fixes you need or any balance issues or whatever. So, like I said, from now on, I'm going to be, plugging on the hentai content on the channel. On the other stuff, I probably won't talk about it, right? But on this, I'm going to be plugging it because I spent a lot of fucking money on these game projects, and I need to start getting some of it back.
Yeah, a lot of time as well. Like you've been working on that fucker for a long ass time.
I have, and dude, one time I literally was working so late on a thing for this, making up, just doing lots and lots of data entry, right? Because like I said, this isn't like when you do something with RPG Maker or a text editor. No, nothing against people who make those kinds of games, because you can make great games with those, right? But it's not like it's just out of the box and you start writing your scenario, right? It's like laying down the code base for this takes a lot of work. And then I did that, and then I was just it was one of the few times I've ever almost fallen asleep at my desk because I was just so tired by the time it was done. So I go to the forum, and the message that greeted me, because I go to the forum thinking, oh, maybe someone will have talked about the game and I can kind of pick myself up, get a morale boost. And it was just one of the whiniest, dumbest comments I think I've ever read.
It's always a thankless job, isn't it?
It is.
Always.
I feel like I'm just getting shit on because they like the landscape of indie games is increasingly every bit as corrupt, if not more corrupt, than the AAA industry, right?
Sure.
Because
Yeah.
the AAA industry does a lot of scummy things, and they deliver a lot of products that are a lot of flash and like sound and fury signifying nothing. You know what I mean? But at least they give you a product. Whereas the indie game industry, I think, once people realized that there was good money in it, it drew an element of people who are just doing like the bare minimum to get you to pre-order, and then they just don't give a fuck, and they just let the project fall apart. Or maybe some of them mean well and they just don't know what they're doing, right?
Right.
But in the hentai indie industry, it's even worse. And you have people who like they'll take thousands and thousands of dollars on Patreon, and then because what they'll do is they'll show you a few images of some original artwork, and then once they get up to a certain amount of donations, they just stop, and people don't cancel the
Right.
donations. So they're just getting paid to do nothing, right?
Right.
And there's been cases where projects have fallen apart, and the guy just says, "I'm not motivated to do it anymore." There was one, yeah, no
Yeah.
shit. Look up.
Well, you're still making money. How the fuck are you not motivated?
Yeah, that's the fucking thing. Well, there was this guy. I'm not. I'm gonna try to avoid picking on any existing projects, but I'm gonna go ahead and pick on dead projects without any mercy. I think it was called Breeding Season. That was the name, and it was gonna be, you farm. You're on a farm. There's a mini game, and then you have animals, and they have sex, and it was like sprite-based animations, right? Now,
Okay.
people threw barrels of money at this fucking game. And
Right.
like I said, at the end of the day, the lead guy, who, from what I understand, did neither coding nor art, had a falling out with the artist, and both of these guys seemed like complete jerks. The artist took all of his art assets that he had retained the rights to because of this bizarre contract, and he left. And then the guy who was left, in charge of the project, said, "I'm not motivated anymore," and that was it. And I
Well,
thought,
okay.
what?
Like, I don't really know a lot about crowdfunding, these types of projects, but like, I'm guessing if you invested in this, you lost your money. That's it.
Yeah, you were just
Okay,
fucked.
you're fucked. Okay, got it. Great, terrific.
So when I made my thing, is I thought, okay, the first thing I want to do is assure my consumer that they're not going to get fucked, right? But
Right.
let me tell you something. It was the stupidest thing I could have done if my goal had
Oh.
just been to make money.
Well,
Because like you just put the product
yeah.
out there, and these people are like, oh, $30 for this game. I'm like, yes, $30. Do you have any idea how much it's like? It's more sophisticated by far than any of the indie shit. The only thing that is better than it are the Illusion games, which are like top of the line Japanese games made by this basically like a AAA studio, or the equivalent of it. I mean, they're relatively small in scale, and they've been around for years. And like their games, if you convert the price in yen, they cost like $80-$90 or something like that. So those are like clearly technically superior than what I've made. But in terms of compared to like, and again, nothing against people who make text-based games or RPG Maker games, but it's a lot more sophisticated than that, and has tremendous room to be developed. So yeah, it costs about the price of 2 RPG Maker games, which I think makes sense. But instead, they'll bitch and complain, and they're like, "Why should I pay you $30 for this when I can pay $300 for an RPG Maker game that doesn't work and crashes to desktop?" And I just don't understand the mentality of these consumers. And I mean that
Yeah,
literally. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm the leader of the project. I can only blame myself for not seeing this kind of thing coming. But it just
kind of.
yeah, well, it amazes me.
It's still frustrating.
It
Like, I
is,
mean,
because
you expect it, but that doesn't help.
right. I mean, it's like, look at the prevalence of free-to-play, MMOs. It's like people end up paying so much more in the end,
Oh,
and yet
absolutely.
they still, if you try to give them, it's like just buy the box, or, excuse me, no, pay just a flat subscription. They think, oh, you're nuts. I'll never pay X amount when I can pay 10X for a quote-unquote free game,
Right.
and then bitch about how it's pay to win. It's like,
Right. I made the
what
comment the other day that instead of just playing ESO, I should just start smoking again.
Yeah, exactly.
if I want to fucking throw money away. But yeah, it's you get sucked into this shit easy. My favorite, and the other part that a lot of people don't really understand or really give a shit about, like consumers generally are not going to give a shit about development process. Like, who cares? They don't even, it's not a thought. But like I've spoken to you throughout the process, and just some of the shit you told me, and like I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, and if you want to edit this out, feel free. But you had told me there's no names involved, but just somebody you'd hired as a writer to write some dialogue, and they asked you what to write. That was my favorite. That was my favorite story. I was like, can you imagine any other job on planet Earth where you would ask, or you would hire a fucking like a cook? Well, what do you want me to do? Well, I want you to cook. Well, okay, well, where? Fuck me. And it's it's little shit like that probably just would fucking chip away at your soul after a certain amount of time goes by. So yeah. Shit.
It's hard to find good help on any front, and yeah, like I won't cut out what you said, but I don't know. I am worried that people who worked with me on on Saltburn and Renfield are watching this. But you know what? It's just I'm not going to name names. And if you come out and it's like, "Hey, he's talking about me," it's on you because you could.
Well, it is funny. That is a funny thing. Like whoever did that. I'm sorry. That's funny.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you. Like, yeah.
I can only hope that that everyone who watches this who also worked with me can just rationalize themselves that I was one of the good ones. Oh, I don't know who he's talking about. You know.
Right.
But then,
right.
I mean, it was just such
watching this. It's not you.
Yeah, it was just there was so many. It was mostly bad experiences. 9/10 were mediocre.
That's everything. That's everybody you work with. That's everywhere.
Yeah.
9/10. It's like the South Park rule. There's just fucking three of us standing here. You're an idiot.
Yeah.
1/4. One fucking idiots. It's that kind of thing.
Let's do some more playing, and then I have like a massive, massive backlog of ranting from all those months of working with these people. Holy shit.
I would imagine.
I mean, I could, if I'd had the time, I considered just for purely therapeutic purposes, just sitting down and just making solo videos, just ranting about how much I hated everybody in the whole world. Hated my coworkers, hated my coders and artists and writers, hated my customers, hated everybody. It's just fuck everybody.
That's my kind of video. I think a lot of people would watch that. I'd fucking watch the shit out of that.
It's like developer's log. Fuck you guys.
Shit. Okay.
And I wish there was some way I could make it less specific, but then it's all about the individual stories of just people who just I don't know what they were.
Change names. Names have been changed to protect the retarded.
Yeah.
You just throw that on first, and there you go. There's your disclaimer.
Yeah.
All is right with the world.
Like I said, I won't name names. But if I tell a story and just if you're one of those people, just do us all a favor and don't out yourself. Don't be like in the comment section, "Hey, that's a story about me, and here's what's really happened." No one will know it's you unless you do that.
Right. People can't fucking help themselves though. They're like they feel obligated to defend their honor, and I'm like, you know what? Especially when we're talking about something like on a professional level, right?
Yeah.
Like you performed poorly on a professional level, so instead of defending your honor in a comment section on a YouTube video where someone's complaining about you under like a different name, by the way, how about you just improve your behavior in the future so that kind of thing doesn't. But people do that fucking forget about that, dude. I've learned a long time ago that no one on planet Earth fucking does that.